I'm Dana Anderson, research scientist here at Phebian. I have 10 plus years of experience in producing data driven results for critical business decisions. I once was the principal data scientist of a leading fintech company, but I couldn't have been happier to join the Phebian team and to start Project Sunroof. I strongly believe that data driven choices are the leading factor for business success. We currently live in the age of information, and it's how we utilize that data and that information to leap forward, not only as an industry, but as a people. Let's take a look at the rest of the team, and then let's get started.
Hi, my name is Kim Wah, and I'm currently a data scientist at Phebian. I have 10 years of experience within the information technology field and have spent the past 2 years as a data scientist. I absolutely love working with businesses and understanding their current problems. I make models and use the data that they provide me to create solutions and understanding for what their problems are and what the solutions that they can have. Hopefully you enjoy our presentation about solar energy and the potential markets that we can work into.
Hello, I'm Eliana Goretti, and I am the technical storyteller here at Phebian. You might be wondering, what is a technical storyteller? Well, I have 15 plus years of IT program management experience, and I'm also a data scientist. I am very passionate about extracting insights from data with the help of dashboards and visualizing results that can help lead you to making better decisions. I believe information is power, and having a clear communication plan on decisions that can have a huge impact on your organizations and your employees are critical. I'm excited we'll be working together, and I will be taking you through the journey of what we found along with my colleagues that will help you take your business to the next level. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jeff Matsumoto, and I'm one of the machine learning engineers and data scientists here at Phebian. Although I'm fairly new in the data science field, I have 10 years of systems engineering experience in the aerospace industry. My passion is solving problems using data, and I hope that you'll see that in our presentation here today.
In this presentation, we'll first start by talking about the energy crisis problem. Then we'll talk about the analytics that we performed and what we learned throughout the process. Next, we'll talk about our conclusions, and finally, demonstrate our dashboard and mobile app. Energy. It makes the world go round. When you hear the word energy, what comes to mind? Oil? Coal? Gas? Nuclear? Wind? Solar? Unfortunately, not all of those options are safe for us to use. Coal, oil, and gas pollute our skies and our water. Nuclear and coal are also dangerous to acquire. And not all of those options are renewable resources. So eventually, some of those options are going to run out. Some of those options are actually dangerous for us. Coal power plant emissions were responsible for 11,000 premature deaths in 2018. Methane gas power plant emissions were responsible for 1,800 premature deaths in 2019. So what's left? Wind and solar. Both are great. Wind and solar energy are estimated to have prevented between 3,000 and 12,700 deaths in the US by improving air quality from 2007 to 2015. When deciding between the two, wind is great, but here at Phebian, our eyes are on the sun. There are 4 reasons why solar energy is the way to go. Number 1, going solar drastically reduces or even eliminates your electric bill. With a solar panel system, you'll generate free power for a system's entire 25 plus year lifespan. Number 2, going solar helps avoid rising energy costs. By investing in solar energy now, you can lock in the price you pay for electricity today in order to protect against future increases in electricity costs. Number 3, going solar increases your property value. Homes with solar sell for more than homes without. Number 4, going solar nets you a great return on your investment. The average American solar purchaser sees a return on their investment of 20% or more, with most solar panel systems paying for themselves multiple times over the course of their decades-long lifetime. So what is the energy crisis problem? Well, more than half of American homeowners, 57% to be exact, have heard of solar incentives, but they don't know much about them. Only 17% of surveyed homeowners reported that they heard of solar incentives and they had a good grasp of them. As of right now, the United States has the ability to power 16% of all homes in America with solar power. That's 23 million homes. Here at Phebian, we see that as a great opportunity. This opportunity was something that we wanted to bring to you, businesses, helping individual homeowners get their solar connection on. But with only 17% of homeowners knowing their solar options, we wanted to create something that would make it easy for businesses to find and provide all of that information. The amount and size of the solar panels needed for a home would depend on a few things. First would be demographics. That will tell us about the population size and key areas ripe with solar potential. Next would be addresses and sunlight. That will tell us the average amount of sunlight that a particular area receives. And finally, average monthly bills. That will tell us how much homeowners are currently paying, so you can make estimates on how much money someone could save. These three pieces of data are what we use to create our dashboard and mobile app. These tools will help you achieve your goals of bringing solar to every eligible homeowner in the U.S. The good news is that solar panels are now cheaper than they ever have been before. Prices for solar panels have dropped 90% in the past decade. Since 2010, the solar industry has experienced an average annual growth rate of 33%, and that's thanks to two things: improved public awareness about renewable energy sources and supportive U.S. government initiatives and policies. Solar panel efficiency has also increased 25% since last year. And while upfront costs of solar panels in the U.S. can still be high, federal and local incentive programs can help reduce them by at least 26%. What has made solar power more attractive over the years are improvements in solar technology and rapidly declining costs. But what has made this growth possible is public, state, and local policy, specifically with net metering. In states with net metering, when solar panel owners generate more energy than they need at a given point in time, they can export this energy to the grid in exchange for credit. They can then use this credit to pay for electricity they receive from the grid later, when their solar panels aren't generating enough energy to provide for their needs. On average, about 20 to 40% of a solar energy system's output is exported back to the electric grid, helping meet the needs of nearby customers with clean, locally produced solar energy. Remember those kinds of energy we talked about before? Gas, oil, and nuclear? Well, fossil fuels, nuclear, coal, and other energy sources don't see solar power as a friend, but as a foe in both terms of profit and proliferation. These interests have united in an effort to slow the progress of solar energy by lobbying to remove net metering, making solar power less affordable and less marketable to new customers. So the competition's thick, and the time is now, and Phebian can help you. And now, on to Kim for the finer details of our analysis.
Before we jump into the learnings and the recommendations for our project, I want to take some time to discuss the analytics as well as the rationale that we took in order to get to where we're at. Our game plan to tackle this energy problem was a multi-tier approach. First, we plan to familiarize ourselves to understand solar energy generation, demographics, and current energy usage across the United States. This was done through looking at multiple data sets, including information from the US Census Bureau, Google, as well as US energy consumption data sets. Having all of this information really allowed us to see the breadth and the depth of our data and really helped us plan what would be needed for our final set for our modeling. Next, We did additional research with regards to industry trends and news around solar power. We believe that familiarizing ourselves with the landscape can help us build context as we create our models. This two-faceted approach is key, as it helps us understand the holistic solar story. Finally, we gather all of our work and we've created 2 new tools for our sales and marketing team as well as partners to use. These tools are a user-friendly dashboard and an application for easy access to the models and information that we've gathered. I want to take some time to talk about the light bulb picture in your right-hand side, which goes through all the different steps that we took in order to get to where we're at. First, we performed an exploratory data analysis utilizing the various data sources that I mentioned earlier. We then identified 3 key goals that we want to utilize as goals for our modeling. These 3 goals that we did were identify top profitable customer segments to increase potential sales, explore if US homeowners can decrease their energy bill costs by switching to solar power, and finally, to provide environmental insights with potential carbon footprint reductions. These 3 goals are intermingled, as the first one really discusses how can we understand our markets and segment them in a way so that we can approach them to be more effective. The second and third really talk about the customer buy-in strategy, about how we want to really have them understand the benefits that they can have by switching to solar. After we create our goals, we did data preparation with the data sets that we had, and then we created our models and insights. Finally, after creating our dashboard application and working with our sales team for final tweaks, we've launched them, and here we are today to go through our final results. Just a quick overview of the final data set that we utilized to create our 3 models to support our goals. We have 3 main goals for our project. The first one is with regards to customer segmentation and understanding which states to market to first and which states to avoid. The second one is more about cost savings with regards to switching over to solar and how much that would be. Finally, we want to understand the carbon footprint and how much it improves once you switch over to solar. We have 3 different sources of information that we utilize to support each of these models and the creation of them. The first one is demographic information provided by the US Census Bureau. The second is sunlight information provided by Google Sun Data. Finally, we have cost savings information provided by the US Energy Information Administration. Each of these goals can be a conjunction or just a sole focus provided by a particular data source. For customer segments, we can see that it is a combination of demographic and sunlight information. For savings, it is a combination between cost savings and sunlight information. And finally, the carbon footprint model relies solely on the sunlight information that we have. Just before we jump into the findings section of our report, I wanted to go over the different type of modeling techniques that we used for each of the goals that we've set out in our project. Our first project goal was to discuss and understand the different customer segments that are needed, and we used the k-means clustering technique, which is an unsupervised technique. The result of it was that we were able to break up the states into similar clusters, and we could then understand what each cluster meant. The next one, around cost savings, we utilized 2 techniques, the random forest as well as the multi-layer perceptron. The random forest provided an accuracy rate of 12%, whereas the MLP provided an accuracy rate of 52%. Finally, for the carbon footprint, we utilized a logistical regression model multiple times. The result of it was an accuracy rate of 93.8%.
Hi, this is Jeff again to walk through what we learned from our analytics and modeling efforts on this project. In our exploratory analysis performed on the Google Project Sunroof dataset, the data shows that California, Texas, and Florida stand out as states with high levels of available sunlight and buildings suitable for solar installation. We will keep an eye on these states as we compile our model results and recommendations. For our modeling efforts on this project, our first goal was to find recommendations for markets that are primed for solar energy growth and expansion. To do this, we created a model using the k-means clustering method to identify market segments with states that were similar to each other in categories such as available sunlight, current adoption of solar panels and energy, location, and demographic information such as the number of businesses and employees in the state. After the clusters or groupings of states were formed, we identified different characteristics of each one and ranked them from highest solar potential to lowest. As you can see from the diagram shown on the slide, our model grouped together the cluster of Texas, California, and Florida as states with large amounts of available sunlight, current installations of solar panels, and businesses with the building and rooftop space ready for further solar adoption. In addition, Hawaii was identified as a state from the next cluster with high potential due to its high current rate of adoption of solar energy and high amounts of available sunlight due to its location close to the equator. For our second goal, we attempted to model the annual electricity savings that an average person could expect to see after installing solar panels at their business or residence. To do so, data from the Google Project Sunroof dataset was used in conjunction with local electricity prices obtained from Pacific Gas and Electric. Two statistical models were attempted to find the average electricity savings. The first was a random forest model that used decision trees to predict the annual average savings, but had a very low accuracy and was not used. The second was a multi-layer perceptron model, better known as a type of neural network. This yielded slightly better results, with the model showing an average of 20% savings annually, with the state of Hawaii showing the largest potential savings. However, as the accuracy of this model is also pretty low, we recommend further improving the model before using it in future predictive modeling exercises. Our third goal for this project was to create a model to predict the carbon offset of building solar panels in each market. Carbon offset refers to the amount of greenhouse gas emissions that are reduced or eliminated by a specific project or effort, in this case, the building of solar panels. For this model, the Google Project Sunroof data was used in conjunction with carbon emission output rate data obtained from the United States Environmental Protection Agency. A predictive model was built using multiple linear regression and trained using the combined dataset. The model showed that the primary variables affecting carbon offset include total sunlight, number of existing solar panel installations, location, specifically the latitude or distance from the equator of the location, and the carbon output emission rate for that region. The model showed a high accuracy level and can be used to predict the carbon offset of future regions of interest.
Now let's take a look at the dashboard that we created for this project to display our model results and recommendations. The dashboard was created in Tableau using data from the Google Project Sunroof dataset and US Census demographic data. Our dashboard contains three key display areas. The first is the map in the center of the dashboard. The map displays the cities that we currently have data for from the Google Project Sunroof dataset. It is filterable by the state or city levels via the filters you see on the right-hand side of the dashboard. We can try filtering these a bit to show how the map and the charts on the left change along with them. So if we filter by state, you'll see the map zoom in on that state along with the charts. Filter only the cities in those states. And the same for the city level. If we choose one of the cities on the dashboard, the map will zoom into that city and display the different metrics for that city along with the market recommendation level. As you can see, the data on the map is sorted by color and size, with color corresponding to the market recommendation level that we will discuss in a bit, and the size showing the total annual sunlight available for each city. You can also hover over the different cities on the map to show a tooltip with location data, available sunlight, and market recommendation data. The second key area on the dashboard are the different bar charts on the left side displaying key parameters such as annual sunlight, total suitable buildings for solar, and the potential carbon offset for each city. These parameters are among those that strongly determine whether a state or city is recommended for solar energy expansion efforts. The bar charts allow you to quickly see which cities rank the highest in these metrics. The third key area is the market recommendation display at the top left corner of the dashboard. This area displays the highest recommendation level among those cities currently displayed. Again, these are filterable by the drop-down filter on the right. As you can see, we can choose different levels to filter our map and charts by. Or we can also filter by clicking on the color legend. These recommendations were determined by our market segmentation model and subsequent clustering analysis as discussed earlier in the presentation. The last area to point out is the links section on the bottom, with a few articles of note regarding the latest in solar energy. Clicking on one of the links will open a new browser tab with the article. For now, this section is updated manually by our team, but in the future we hope to integrate it with the Python script to automate the updates using an RSS feed from a solar news website. Thanks for checking out our dashboard, and feel free to visit it on the Tableau public website and try it for yourself. The link should be in the presentation.
And now it's time to ask the potentially multi-million-dollar question. Is it really worth it investing in solar at this time? Based on our extensive research and data analysis, the answer is a resounding yes. Now is the perfect time to start investing and diversifying your portfolio with services in the solar industry, as we see emerging trends of this industry growing by 30% in the next 20 years. Now is the time to invest. Hopefully, by this time in our presentation, we have done a good job at convincing you that now is the right time to invest in the solar industry. Now you might be wondering, where do I start? Phebian has spent a great deal of time in identifying the top markets for you to start your marketing campaigns. The strategy we recommend is comprised of two phases. Phase 1, Phebian recommends that the following top states to be included as ideal for rooftop solar energy production with the most profitable market opportunities. These states are California, Texas, and Florida. For phase 2, we have the so-called novice states, which are not as experienced as the states included in phase 1, and they do not have as big of a presence of solar yet, but they do have a good workforce, high appetite in switching to solar due to their production of solar energy. And these states are Arizona, Nevada, and New Mexico, as well as Hawaii. Now, you might be noticed that we are recommending Hawaii to be part of phase 1, along with the other experienced states in the solar industry. What we found interesting in our data analysis was that Hawaii has nearly a third of the rooftops with solar panels, which is more than twice the percentage as California. With energy prices surging globally, Hawaii has actually committed to an initiative to transition away from coal and generate 100%, you heard that right, 100% of its power using renewable energy sources only by 2045. That is incredible, and it represents a huge opportunity that we believe it would definitely be worthwhile exploring as part of phase 1 before other companies make their mark known. Do we believe that solar is the future? Well, with multiple articles in the news these days where governments and states are coming up with laws and incentives to reduce the reliance on fossil fuels due to the rising energy costs, we believe that going solar is where our society in general is heading. By going solar, you will help potential new customers avoid rising energy costs by investing in energy solars now and being able to lock in the price paid for electricity today to protect themselves from future increasing in electricity costs. You will also get a great return on the investment because every US solar purchaser can reduce their electricity bill by 20% on average a year based on our data analysis. That is a very enticing reason for most people to switch to solar or at least consider doing so. But they will need tools and information to know how much would they be saving and what type of solar system they should be getting, what company they should be working with. So why not you? We also see that solar panel systems are paying for themselves within 6 years since install, and they last between 25 to 30 years based on the type of the solar panels purchased and the maintenance, where you can also be a key player. Going solar also increases the property values in the long term. So buildings that have solar will sell for more than buildings that don't. Also, least but not last, do good for the planet. Why not be part of this historic climate investment of reducing carbon footprints by 40% in the next 20 years? That's why solar is the future. We at Phebian are looking ahead and want to ensure that we provide you with all the tools for your business to be successful in the next stages of expanding into the solar market. We have already provided you with a demo of the internal dashboard that you can provide solar market insights with your internal stakeholders and staff. But externally, for expanding into future markets that have an increased appetite for solar energy, we present you with your Sunroof app that will provide you with the flexibility of targeting customers in any state in US. We believe that in this day and age, having a mobile presence is critical to your success and will provide you with means of sharing important tools and resources to not just increasing your customer base, but also form important partnerships with local solar key players and also expanding your line of services and products to support your investments. We hope you enjoy our demo next. We are approaching the end of our presentation today, but before you leave, we wanted to leave you with a lasting impression. Meet your mobile app, Sunroof. We wanted to add some functionality for our demo today to show you the possibilities of having a mobile app presence in the competitive landscape of today's solar companies. If you do decide to invest and then expand into markets that might not be at your reach yet, the mobile app can provide you with the best solution in reaching those markets. This app is for demo purposes, so the functionality we have today is limited. But based on your feedback and suggestions, we would love to partner up with you and bring this app to not just your potential customers, but also your solar partners and internal stakeholders within your company. We recognize that information is power, and these days, a lot of people, if they have a question or they want to find out what type of panels they need, they want to understand the solar industry and the terms a little better, we can provide you with educational videos and tools that could be accessed from anytime, anywhere. A good example will be YouTube videos that actually Google has put together. So people are familiarized with all of the paperwork they need to fill in order to bring solar into their homes or commercial properties. We also have the energy saving calculator, which provides potential clients with a tool that is very well supported already out there that they might not know about. Based on your monthly electric bill, if let's say during the summer it goes a little bit higher to $180 a month, $150 a month, you can see here the type of panels you will need to consider and what does that mean for the environment, as well as financially the cost to prepare you with potential options. This is where we see an opportunity to monetize your partnerships and add not just solar installers, but also lending companies and financial institutions that can provide a more detailed and personalized view into the sales being performed. Of course, you will have access to our Tableau dashboard that my colleague Jeff just walked you through earlier today. If you are away from your computer on a site travel, your partners will have access to the dashboard on the mobile app, which makes everything easier. Last but not least, if you want to collaborate with us in the future, here is our website. You can learn more about us and the awesome services we offer. We really enjoyed this partnership and we hope that it continues. We here at Phebian believe that solar is the future, and we thank you so much for your support during this project, and we hope that you enjoyed our presentation. Thank you.